Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News for Thursday, March 7th. We have some very, very exciting stories to go over tonight. But first, a word from my sponsor. Say what you like about Donald Trump, but this guy's a patriot. He's just come back from the Far East where he rebooted the war on tariffs. Every inch the statesman, the Chinese were putty in his hands. The president's strength lies in his confidence and business knowledge. He is a great pair of hands guiding America through a pretty rough time right now. Despite Chinese and Russian efforts to undermine America, he's doing fine. And our friends at Noble Gold have known this for a long time. Because they're in the precious metals business, it was only natural that they chose to honor achievements like this by minting commemorative coins to celebrate Donald Trump's presidency. Now, as you can see, they come in either silver or gold. This one's 0.999 fine silver, and this one is 24 karat solid gold. With the president captured perfectly in profile, you can get these special, best-selling coins now. In fact, Noble Gold are offering $100 off the price of this gold coin and $5 off the silver one here. Buy 3 or more, and you even get shipping thrown in for free. 7th. First of all, I have a tweet that my friend Method sent over this morning. As we can see, General Flynn has changed his Twitter background yet again. And Method says, fresh General Flynn background, cool, dark to light. And we can see this is a beautiful image of the sun breaking through some really dark clouds. So it truly is dark to light. And later on in the day, someone that I follow named Sammy Q Patriot had isolated the clouds and kind of zoomed in. I believe she might have even color corrected one so we can get a better look. But she noticed that she says, so this is for Q and MAGA peeps. General Flynn changed his banner. I noticed a couple of interesting things that the Q movement will get. And am I imagining this, or is there a Punisher mask or some sort of being outline and it's holding a Q? I think she's right on both of it. This does look to me like a Punisher mask made out of sunlight. I also thought that it kind of looked like an angel breaking through, but it does look like maybe there's an angel holding a Q right there. I thought that was really, really cool and definitely uplifting. Very interesting. Now, next, something else that Methods had sent over to me. This is a post from 8chan. Apparently, it's a possibility that someone has discovered what the Keystone is. So this ANON says, kecking out right now. Pretty sure I found something. Rip me apart if I'm wrong, though. So many shells on here. You're missing crumbs. Look here, not there. Or excuse me, look here, not here. Responding to post 2996, our favorite ANON says, how is that possible for a supposed non-governmental entity? How is it possible that Facebook tracks data even when the app is deleted? In post 2993 from 3/7/2019, Q is calling out Snowden, so I used the filter to find words related to WL. Our favorite Anon's post from July 31st, 2018 is a screenshot of the WL Vault 7, which was released March 7th. Sounds confusing just trying to show you my thought process, so stay with me, it makes sense. Unlike bullets, bombs, or missiles, most clown malware is designed to live for days or even years until after it has reached its target. Clown malware does not explode on impact, but rather permanently infests its target. In order to infect the target's device, copies of the malware must be placed on the target's devices, giving physical possession of the malware to the target. To exfiltrate data back to the clowns or to await further instructions, the malware must communicate with clowns' command and control C2 systems placed on internet-connected servers. But such servers are typically not approved to hold classified information, so clown command and control systems are also made unclassified. This is from Vault 7. Links below that direct you to user forums on how to leave a digital fingerprint that can be associated with the clowns and how to construct an imitation fingerprint. Using Facebook as their fingerprint, they are able to install malware on people's phones, tablets, and computers, which relay all data back to a central server using Hive. I suggest all Anons who have given up life to research stuff like this, like me, should read this document to completion. I noticed the enormous amount of comparisons between packets of data and bombs. Dunno why, probably just autistic. I looked back in the Q map, and on March 5th, 2019, and ANON posted how London police called them bombs, not suspicious packages. Q responds in 2974 with fire. I went into Vault 7 projects, searched for fire. Angel Fire is an implant comprised of 5 components: Solar Time, Wolf Creek, Keystone, previously Magic Wand, Bad MFS, and the Windows Transitory File System. Keystone. Keck. Keystone is part of the Wolf Creek implant and responsible for starting malicious user applications. Loaded implants never touch the file system, so there is very little forensic evidence that the process was ever ran. This makes post Q381 much easier to understand. We won't telegraph our moves to the enemy. We will, however, light a fire to flush them out. Our favorite Anon is saying they are using the Angel Fire to predict the deep state's moves without being detected. In the user files, it says a key must be used to open Magic Wand, Keystone. In Q Post 270, he says the ADM, R, NSA, and W&W plus POTUS US mail equals apply the Keystone. Paint the picture. In Post 167, Q says POTUS opened the door to all doors. Expand your thinking. What is the Keystone? Now, this could be confirmation bias, but based off of what we just read and how we can now infer that Q was saying Trump gave Admiral Rogers permission to use the Keystone and activate malware in order to collect data on the deep state. Furthermore, who uses a magic wand? A wizard! Wizards and warlocks. We have everything. Now you see. I think that someone just discovered the Keystone. This is incredible. All right, so now that we have that information, I thought it would be a good idea to go to WL.org and check out the docs from the Vault 7 release, Wolf Creek Docs, Angel Fire User Guide. Let's take a closer look. Engineering Development Group, Angel Fire, version 1.0 User's Manual from November 9th, 2011. Table of contents. We're just going to go through this whole document real quick. So, Angel Fire is an implant comprised of 4 components: Solar Time, Wolf Creek, Magic Wand, and Bad MFS. Solar Time modifies the partition boot sector to load some kernel code. That kernel code then modifies the Windows boot process so that when Windows loads boot time device drivers, an implant device driver can be loaded. The implant driver and Solar Time boot code, aside from the partition boot sector modifications, are kept in a small user-specified file on disk. This file is encrypted. Wolf Creek is the kernel code that Solar Time executes. Wolf Creek is a self-loading driver that once executed can load other drivers and user mode applications. Magic Wand is responsible for starting user applications. Any application started by Magic Wand is done without the implant ever being dropped to the file system. In other words, a process is created and the implant is loaded directly into memory. Currently, all processes will be created as SVC host. When viewed in Task Manager or another process viewing tool, all properties of the process will be consistent with the real instance of svchost.exe, including image path and parent process. Furthermore, since the implant code never touches the file system, aside from the possibility of paging, there is very little forensic evidence that the process was ever ran. Bad MFS is a covert file system that is created at the end of the active partition. It is used to store all drivers and implants that Wolf Creek will start. All files are obfuscated to avoid string or PE header scanning. Implant forensics. Angel Fire has a small forensic footprint. So these are the actual file names that you would see if you went into the information on your computer. Look at that. File, encrypted file, partition boot sector modification. So I wonder if you would be able to get rid of these things if you were to do a complete wipe on your hard drive or on your phone. I wonder if doing the wipe on your phone, restoring it to factory settings, would get rid of it. Oh, wow. So this is everything on your computer, though. Okay, Angel Fire Installer is the user's single mechanism for working with the Angel Fire implant. The installer is used for installation, uninstallation, and access to the covert file system. Angel Fire requires system administrative privileges to use the installer. The full command line specification for the Angel Fire installer is as follows. Okay, so this is what happens. That's how you execute it. Angelfire uses the bad MFS covert file system to store many of the implants and data required to run. Bad MFS uses a file called ZF to determine where to create the file system. There are two options when creating the file system. The first option is to create it on a file, create it in a file on disk. The full file path is specified in the ZF file. Care should be taken to ensure both the name and location of the file is inconspicuous, otherwise somebody might notice it. The other option is to have bad MFS create the file system to slack space at the end of the disk. What the hell do you want, Muffin? Come on, get in here. Get up here. You can't get on my lap right now. Get up there. To use this option, simply specify the physical drive in the ZF. The caveat with using this option is that some machines don't have any space at the end of the drive. This is often the case with VMware, VMs, and OS is installed by the user. Many machines with factory-installed OS have enough space at the end of the drive to install bad MFS. If there is not enough space to install, space can be created by a third-party application by shrinking the volume a small amount. Only 2 megabytes to install. Angelfire is installed on a host machine by running the installer with either the IPR or IPL option. I don't know that this is going to make sense to many people, but it's familiar if you know anything about the Windows file directory system. So, wow. This is it, you guys. I really do believe that this is the Keystone, and that it's the method by which Trump and the Q team have everything. They have literally everything this way because it lets them know. Okay, now the scary thing is that means that the bad guys, they've got everything. Now, I don't use Windows. I have a Mac. So I don't know if they have a comparable tool that is used on Macintosh computers, on Apple computers, but it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be looking for now. So, if anybody wants to check this out, I'm going to leave a link for it in the description below. All right, next, my friend Mindfuhrer came up with this excellent thread today. It has some information regarding Lifelog, the project that gave birth to Facebook. Out of curiosity and provocation from QAnon, I ran a U.S. patent database search for Lifelog in DARPA. And then he tagged a bunch of people in there. Okay. From Drop 2985, it reminds us that DARPA basically switched Lifelog to Facebook in 2004. And here is the post. This is 2985. This is actually an embed of the post from 4/11/18. Pentagon kills Lifelog project. And it tells that then Facebook was miraculously birthed. Finder of this should apply to the NSA. Check the dates. Pentagon kills Lifelog project the same day Facebook is formed. Very true. So 2404, 2404, exact same day. The search returned 8 results, none of which are held by DARPA. However, of the 8 filings, 5 are held by Microsoft. 2 are held by trustees of Columbia University of New York, and 1 is held by IBM. All are major heavyweights in tech R&D. All right, so here, these patents are called Urban Computing of Route-Oriented Vehicles, Learning Transportation Modes from Raw GPS Data, Searching Similar Trajectories by Locations, Determine Spatiotemporal Causal Interactions in Data, Recommending Points of Interest in a Region, Methods, Systems, and Media for Identifying Similar Songs Using Jump Codes, Systems, Methods, and Media for Identifying Matching Audio, and Personal Multi-Information Recorder. The patents themselves aren't that interesting per se. They are pretty technical and dry, but through the search results, I found some research papers cited in the patent filings. Digitizing Personal Experiences, Capture and Retrieval of Lifelog, 2005. That would probably make an interesting paper. Multimodal Segmentation of Lifelog Data. A personal lifelog of visual and audio information can be very helpful as human memory augmentation tool. The SenseCam, a passive wearable camera used in conjunction with an iRiver MP3 audio recorder. You guys remember those? Like a Microsoft Zune. Dredging up the past, lifelogging, memory, and surveillance. Wow. Biometric response as a source of query-independent scoring and Lifelog retrieval. Biometrics. Okay. This patent actually is quite interesting and alarming. Let's go ahead and look at that one. Method of selecting a second content based on a user's reaction to a first content. Invention Science Fund, ILL. So look at that. Method of selecting a second content based on a user's reaction to a first content. Embodiments include an apparatus, a system, a device, a computer program, product, and a method. A method embodiment includes a method implemented in an environment that includes a person interacting with an electronic device via a user device. The method includes detecting a reaction by the person to a displayed first content. The method also includes determining a content attribute of the displayed first content. The method further includes facilitating a search for a second content based on the detected reaction and on the determined content attribute. The method includes displaying the second content in a manner perceivable by the person. And a follow-up method of selecting a second content based on a user's reaction to a first content. Oh, same company as above right here. Method of selecting a second content based on a user's reaction to a first content of at least 2 instances of displayed content. Wow. And drop number 2988, DARPA equals Facebook. Define Lifelog, DARPA. An ontology-based subsystem that captures, stores, and makes accessible the flow of one person's experience in and interactions with the world in order to support a broad spectrum of associates, assistants, and other system capabilities. The objective of the Lifelog concept was to be able to trace the threads of an individual's life in terms of events, states, and relationships. And it has the ability to take in all of a subject's experience, from phone numbers dialed and email messages viewed to every breath taken, step made, and place gone. Define Facebook. The Facebook service can be accessed from devices with internet connectivity, such as personal computers, tablets, and smartphones. After registering, users can create a customized profile revealing information about themselves. Users can post text, photos, and multimedia of their own devising and share it with other users as friends. Users can use various embedded apps and receive notifications of their friends' activities. Users may join common interest groups, compare and contrast. DARPA senior employees at Facebook. DARPA terminates program February 4th, 2004. Facebook founded February 4th, 2004. DARPA equals Facebook. Link to a thread I did yesterday detailing executive board members of Facebook and low-key connections to DARPA. Thiel, Andreessen, and Desmond Hellman, possibly more. Facebook is a Keystone. Facebook track location, track voice, track messages, data collection. Collection program for internet data is a Keystone per no such agency terms. And this is from just from March 6th, yesterday. Facebook returning to the news. Lifelog, DARPA ends. Facebook begins. Lifelog, DARPA team transfer to Facebook. What DARPA team members, past and present, worked for Facebook? What divisions? Locate 3, public. 9 total, 6 non-public. Building 8 exposed. Here, when? 4/11/18. Think scramble, offline scrub, post Xbox, PlayStation chat logs, drop. Microsoft shutdown immediately, post drop. Building 8 news release, restructuring Building 8 release on 12/14/18. Rest in peace. Oh, then the article from TechCrunch. Rest in peace equals false. Reorganization equals true. China, China, China. China, China, China. Open access, pay for play. Laws which prevent Clowns in America operations inside Homeland. Bulk data collection, no such agency, Homeland. Bulk data collection, Clowns in America, Homeland. How does the Clowns in America avoid law trigger regarding umbrella spy Homeland? Facebook, China, Building 8. Google, China, Dragonfly. Twitter, US, legal track maybe? Facebook track user GPS, voice and text. Google track user GPS, voice and text. Twitter track user GPS. Phone, pad, microphone, algorithm, embed, all for marketing purposes is publicly disclosed? No. Who has access to bulk data and tracking? Who has access to bulk data? If the no such agency has ability to absorb data stream, Utah, in-house tools, does Clowns in America have ability to collect data stream from funded network offshoots, big tech? Offshoots necessary to avoid clown's breach of U.S. domestic laws? Yes. Amazon Server Cloud contract. Amazon Server Cloud root data 1 through 99 domestic. Clowns tasked with gathering and analyzing info on foreign governments and individuals. Signals intelligence, covert. No such agency tasked with gathering and analyzing info on a global scale, including domestic, signals intelligence, covert. What former U.S. president was a Clowns in America director? George H.W. Bush. Now, there's an article there about George H.W. Bush, so that's the answer. Think Clowns in America. Brennan, authorized spy campaign of U.S. Senate under Hussein. We covered that here previously. Think Clowns in America, installation campaign, U.S. House and Senate infiltration. They have people who were former agents that are now in the House and Senate. Think Alyssa Slotkin, part 1 of 9. Wow. Facebook and Twitter tracking you from April of 2018. People have power. Don't forget how to play. Together, you are strong. Facebook, violation of your privacy. Facebook, actively tracking you. Facebook, reading your private messages. Facebook, censoring, anti-conservative. More will drop. We have it all. Class action lawsuits are effective. Global. Jack, you're next. What is Jack's secret Twitter handle? Dummy accounts to talk. What you see is limited. Think emails. Loretta Lynch, HRC, Hussein, etc. Keystone, collection program for internet data. Okay, now, Mein Führer goes on to say, I'd say Thiel is one of the board members connected to DARPA. Palantir was ceded to InQtel. Probably Andreessen too. That's 2, I think. Susan Desmond-Hellman. DARPA, MIT, Tim Berners-Lee, Mark Andreessen. Netflix equals Reed Hastings, William Reed Hastings' father. All right, that's the end of that thread. God, so much good stuff. All right, and that takes us back to the original thread that took us down that rabbit hole. That is amazing. So let's take a look at these papers real quick. Digitizing Personal Experiences, Capture and Retrieval of Lifelog from February of 2005. So, however, it is evident that the resulting amount of video content will be enormous. Accordingly, to retrieve and browse desired scenes, a vast quantity of video data must be organized using structural information. We are developing a content-based video retrieval system for Lifelog applications. Our Lifelog system captures video, audio, acceleration sensor, gyro, GPS, annotations, documents, web pages, and emails, and provides functions that make efficient video browsing and retrieval possible by using data from these sensors, some databases, and various document data. All right, then dredging up the past, lifelogging, memory, and surveillance. Here's the abstract. The term lifelog refers to a comprehensive archive of an individual's quotidian existence, created with the help of pervasive computing technologies. Lifelog technologies would record and store everyday communications, actions, and experiences of their users, enabling future replay and aiding remembrance. Now, what do we know about this? We know that that Facebook, one of the things they got in trouble for was for turning on the microphone on your phone and listening to you at all times. I have heard so many people tell me that they had a private conversation with someone, and then when they were done with the conversation, they went onto their Facebook, and what was presented to them? An advertisement for something that they had just been talking about. You guys, they laid this out, and they have delivered it to us, and now people are actively involved in creating their own files on themselves and delivering it to them without even realizing it. Biometric response as a source of query independent scoring in Lifelog retrieval. Personal Lifelog archives contain digital records captured from an individual's daily life, emails, web pages, downloaded, and SMS, sent or received. While capturing this information is becoming increasingly easy, subsequently locating relevant items in response to user queries from within these archives is a significant challenge. This paper presents a novel query-independent static biometric scoring approach for re-ranking results lists retrieved from a lifelog using a BM25 model for content and content plus context data. For this study, we explored the utility of galvanic skin response and skin temperature associated with past experiences of items as a measure for potential future significance of items. Yeah, so when are they going to have a Google product that you can attach an electrode to your arm or your temples? It will read your skin and temperature response, your probably how much you begin to sweat when you see something, and then deliver content to you based on that. Next, this is also something that Methods showed me. It's an 8chan Q Research board search tool. So this is very simple. Only a keyword or key phrase is allowed. So let's take an example here, and let's look up Keystone. Look at that. From Q Research, 5,176 posts. These are all different boards. And then you've literally got every major release by WL. And it's many, many pages. So much information to go through. So many possible connections that we can make. This is incredible. Wow. Oh my God. You guys, this is a great tool. And it's Q Research with a period between the R and the CH. Again, I am going to leave a link to this in the comment section or in the description below. All right, now that we're done with that, just in, Judicial Watch uncovers records showing numerous Bruce Orr communications with Fusion GPS and the dossier author Christopher Steele. Once again, Judicial Watch is doing the heavy lifting. Conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch announced Thursday it obtained 339 pages of very heavily redacted records from the DOJ that show former top Justice Department official Bruce Orr regularly communicating with former British spy and dossier author Christopher Steele after the FBI terminated Steele for breaking FBI informant protocol by speaking to the media. Judicial Watch obtained these documents from a March 2018 FOIA lawsuit against the DOJ. The documents revealed Bruce Orr repeatedly thanked Christopher Steele for updates and assured him that he would pass info along to his colleagues. Bruce Orr acted as a liaison for the FBI and Steele and set up meetings with Steele and regularly spoke to him over the phone. While many of these exchanges between Steele and Orr are already public knowledge, it shows just how much the two were communicating. Bruce Orr's wife Nellie Orr was also sending numerous emails to DOJ officials on Russia issues. From Judicial Watch, on Friday, July 29, 2016, Steele emails Bruce Orr about a meeting that is to include Bruce's wife, Nellie Orr, who then worked for Fusion GPS at the Mayflower Hotel. Steele, Dear Bruce, just to let you know, I shall be in D.C. at short notice on business from this p.m. till Saturday Eve, staying at the Mayflower Hotel. If you are in town, it would be good to meet up, perhaps for breakfast tomorrow morn. Happy to see Nellie too if she's up for it. Please tell me no. Please let me know. Best, Chris. Or, Dear Chris, nice to hear from you. Nellie and I would be up for breakfast tomorrow and I can come into town. What would be a good time for you? Bruce. Steele. Thanks, Bruce. On me, at the Mayflower Hotel, Conn Avenue, Northwest at 0900 should work, but I'll confirm the time for definite this eve if I may. Looking forward to seeing you, Chris. Or, sounds good, but we won't let you pay for breakfast. I'll wait for your confirmation on time. Bruce. Steele. Let's do 0900 then. See you in the lobby. Chris. Or, very good. See you at 900. Another exchange between Bruce Orr in December of 2016, between Bruce Orr and Christopher Steele in December of 2016 shows the two discussing articles written by the Daily Beast and Think Progress. There was also a string of encrypted text messages exchanged between Orr and Steele between January 2017 to November 2017. This is well after the FBI terminated Chris Steele as a confidential human source. Christopher Steele sent Bruce Orr an email on January 31st, 2017, the day after Acting Attorney General Sally Yates was fired by President Trump for insubordination. Steele wanted to make sure his contact information would be forwarded to others if Bruce Orr were forced to be out of his top position at the DOJ. Steele, B. Doubtless a sad and crazy day for you regarding S.Y. Sally Yates. Just wanted to check you are okay, still in situ and able to help locally as discussed, along with your bureau colleagues with our guy in the need arises. Many thanks and best as always. See? Or, Bruce, yes, a crazy day. I'm still here and able to help as discussed. I'll let you know if that changes. Thanks. Thanks. You have my sympathy and support. If you end up out, though, I really need another bureau? Contact point number who is briefed. We can't allow our guy to be forced to go back home. It would be disastrous all around, though your position right now looks stable. A million thanks. C. Bruce says, understood. I can certainly give you an FBI contact if it becomes necessary. Where the hell is Attorney General Barr? Bruce Orr is still employed at the Justice Department. President of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton, blasted the Hillary, Steele, or Fusion GPS targeting and spying of the Trump campaign. These smoking gun documents show that Christopher Steele, a Hillary Clinton operative and anti-Trump foreign national, secretly worked hand in glove with the Justice Department on its illicit targeting of President Trump, said Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. These documents leave no doubt that for more than a year after the FBI fired Christopher Steele for leaking, and for some 10 months after Donald Trump was sworn in as president, Bruce Orr continued to act as a go-between for Steele with the FBI and Justice Department. The anti-Trump Russia investigation, run now by Robert Mueller, has been thoroughly compromised by this insider corruption. Wow, this is great news. The fact that Judicial Watch was able to bring this stuff out, they really are doing the heavy lifting. Every time I read a piece that has something to do with Judicial Watch, it just makes you wonder, where is the actual Justice Department? I'm sure that if Judicial Watch has found this information out, it's not the first time that this stuff has come out at the DOJ. So it just goes to show how much work there is to do. There has got to be many, many, many layers of the swamp that need to be removed, excised, surgically, if you will. But again, the very fact that they were able to get away with this stuff for so long just shows you how deep that swamp goes. I think that, again, this is coming to a head. These people will not be here for long. The fact that this information is coming out means that the process is being moved forward. As more information leaks, as more information is brought forward by the team at Judicial Watch, we can be assured that these people are going to be in the hot seat, and they are not going to be able to stay silent for long, to continue to remain in the shadows. This is coming out, and there's nothing that can stop it. Now, in huge blow to Robert Mueller, Judge T.S. Ellis wants Manafort to be given credit for time served. On Thursday evening, Judge T.S. Ellis rejected Mueller's excessive recommendation that Paul Manafort serve 19.5 to 24.5 years in prison after a Virginia jury convicted Manafort on 8 counts of bank and tax fraud. The Reagan-appointed judge sentenced Manafort to 47 months in prison. That's still a lot. In another blow to Mueller, Judge T.S. Ellis also wants Manafort to be given credit for the 9 months he has already served in jail. Seems only right. If this happens, Manafort will only have to serve 38 months, just over 3 years in jail. Judge wants Paul Manafort to be given credit for the 9 months he spent in jail after a different judge revoked his bond last June. If that happens, Manafort's time in prison from now on would total a little more than 3 years. Paul Manafort was seated in a wheelchair and green prison jumpsuit during the Thursday hearing and pleaded with the judge to have some compassion. The last 2 years have been the most difficult for my family and I, Manafort said in his plea. To say that I've been humiliated and ashamed would be a gross understatement, he said. Judge Ellis rejected Mueller's excessive recommendation and gave Manafort a much lighter sentence. Manafort faces sentencing in a separate case in D.C. court next week. A couple weeks ago, Mueller released his redacted sentencing memo on Paul Manafort in the Washington, D.C. case where Manafort was on trial for his Ukrainian lobbying. Mueller accused Manafort of repeatedly and brazenly breaking the law. Recall, Mueller gave Tony Podesta immunity in this case, even though, just like Manafort, he failed to file a FARA form in a timely manner. Corrupt Obama-appointed Judge Amy Berman Jackson is assigned to Paul Manafort's D.C. case, where he was charged with 2 felony counts and will be sentenced next week by Jackson. Wow, he's got to get sentenced again. Mueller did not disclose how many years he recommended Manafort serve in the D.C. case. However, under the law, Manafort faces 10 years maximum prison time for 2 felony counts. President Trump should take a blowtorch to Mueller and pardon Manafort after his second round of sentencing next week. What do you guys think? Do you think that President Trump is going to give Manafort a pardon? Because this is just incredibly excessive, what they're doing to him. I'm very angry that Tony Podesta has been given immunity in this very case. To think that Tony Podesta was given immunity in this case boils my blood. Paul Manafort did the same stuff, not even to the degree that Tony Podesta did. It just disgusts me because it's obvious that they are trying to get Manafort to give something up on President Trump. And the fact that he gave nothing up shows that there is nothing to give. Paul Manafort is going to spend the next several years in prison, and it's not going to be fun for him. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I want to hear what you guys think about this case in the comments below. Next, from the Gateway Pundit, Shady Schiff goes into overdrive and introduces a bill to make it difficult for President Trump to grant pardons in the Russia witch hunt. Speaking of Paul Manafort getting a potential pardon. House Intel Chairman Adam Schiff reintroduced legislation on Thursday targeting President Trump's pardons. Schiff introduced the Abuse of the Pardon Prevention Act, which would alert Congress if the president were to pardon anyone connected to the Russia investigation or any probe where he and his family is involved. Schiff introduced the same legislation last year when the Democrats were in the minority, but he's renewing the push as Mueller's witch hunt winds down. If the law passes, it would allow Congress to review evidence against the person receiving the presidential pardon. The president has a broad power to confer pardons, but not when they are designed to insulate himself, his family, and his associates from criminal investigation. Such an abuse of the pardon power would amount to obstruction of justice and is not countenanced by the Constitution, Schiff said in a statement. Schiff took the fight to his Twitter account to get the liberal lemmings riled up. Presidents can use a pardon to rectify an injustice. They may not use it to obstruct justice. It's not an obstruction of justice. The president has the power to pardon anyone that he wants to for any reason. It doesn't matter. I just introduced legislation to ensure that if the pardon power is abused to cover up crimes involving any president, his or her family or associates, Congress finds out, Schiff said in a tweet. And there is the offending legislation. Let's take a look. So I don't understand how he can justify saying that this is going to obstruct justice. If someone has already been convicted of something, whether it's, like legitimate or not, that means that they've already been convicted. They've already been tried and convicted. And if they were going to give something up on the president, then they would have done it prior to being convicted, probably so they wouldn't get a conviction. So this is useless. Adam Schiff is doing this just to simply make it difficult on the president, make it so that he's unable to give any clemency to someone for this ridiculous witch hunt that Mueller has been parading people around. Paul Manafort is getting the brunt of it. Even if he was a plant, as our favorite Anon has said, I don't know that I agree with the way he's been treated. Now, our next article here, and our last article, Pelosi says the House Dems are launching investigations into Trump without evidence of a crime, and it's their constitutional responsibility, which absolutely doesn't make sense either. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in a press briefing Thursday that the massive investigations into President Trump launched by the House Democrats without any evidence of crimes were committed is their constitutional responsibility as oversight of the executive branch. I would say that it is wasteful and unnecessary. The House launched investigations on Trump. What kind of evidence does the House have right now on Trump to launch all those investigations on him? And could this possibly be overreach? A reporter asked Pelosi. I'm surprised that was even asked. Pelosi interrupted the reporter. No, this is our constitutional responsibility to have oversight over the executive branch. The House Speaker then invoked Stalin's rule of show me the man and I'll find you the crime. The evidence that they will have is what they will gather doing the oversight, bringing truth to the American people, Pelosi said, adding, if we were not to exercise oversight over the executive branch, we would be delinquent in our duties. So there you have it. Nancy Pelosi, who is third in line of succession to become president of the United States, just admitted there is no evidence a crime was committed by President Trump and claimed searching for a crime, which is an overt abuse of due process, is their constitutional responsibility. Sickening. Let's take a listen.
The House launched investigations on Trump. What kind of evidence does the House right now have on Trump to launch all these investigations on him? And couldn't this possibly be an overreach and essentially...
No, this is our constitutional responsibility to have oversight over the executive branch. And the evidence that they will have is what they will gather doing the oversight. bringing truth to the American people. I salute the committee for the action that they have taken. If we were not to exercise oversight over the executive branch, we would be delinquent in our duties.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so we are truly living in an era of insanity. They are willing to do anything to get President Trump and to take him down. This is not their duty, all right? Their duty is to serve the will of the American people, and they are taking the power that they have, and they are perverting it. They are perverting the office in which they are sitting currently. Many of which of these people, I bet, were not actually elected. When you count correct, real vote counts of actual American citizens, and you can get rid of all of the illegals, you get rid of all the dirty votes, all of the votes from dead people. I really hope that that happens, and I hope that they clean it up for 2020, because this has to stop, okay? This cannot go on any longer. And I know that things are happening, and I know that this is changing, but they realize it too, and because of that, they are the most brazen and the most out in the open that they have ever been. They are truly exposed, as our favorite Anon has said. They have never been so exposed, and they are frying. They are literally sweating to death. They need to find something. You are not supposed to just fish around until you have evidence of a crime or until you find something that is worth investigating, all right? You call an investigation when there already is evidence of a crime so that you can make a case, all right? I haven't even been to law school, but I understand how the system is supposed to work. All right, everyone, I want to thank you very much for joining me. As always, I am Red Pill 78, the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pilled News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.